What's up guys, Omar Isaf here. In this video today I want to talk about poor postural habits and training incorrectly for your body, which will lead you to injuries down the road. What am I talking about? I'm talking about why being a slave to the grind, why sitting down on a chair all day is not good for your body and not good for your training, and how it could affect it negatively. You're not going to be making as much gains. Simply put, being in that position, sitting around all day, will shorten and inhibit certain areas, right? If you look at your hip flexors, when you're sitting down, right, what ends up happening with your hip flexor, normally when you're standing, it's at rest. When you sit down for too long of a period of time, it becomes shortened. Other areas that are affected, we could talk about your hamstrings as well. We could talk about your lower back, especially if you're rounding forward over time, you're on a keyboard, let's say you're typing, you're in an office. Fuck the office, man. You're at the office, you're inside, you're internally rotated for an extended period of time. And if you take positions over time, these same positions, and you take them to their logical conclusion, a lot of areas will become tight and shorten the muscle, right? When you stretch it out, it becomes lengthened. What I want to talk about though, going further into this, when you combine training, so let's say you squat a lot, like you squat maybe 2-3 times a week, that's fantastic, man, good for you. But an area, a muscle can become overactive, and when you combine an overactive muscle where you're stimulating it a lot, and you're sitting down a lot afterwards, so shortening it, that's a disastrous combination. In fact, so much to the point where if you take your hip flexor, right, and it gets really tight over time, you're training it a lot and you're sitting down on a chair a lot, right, maybe at, once again, the office or school, whatever the case might be, it can create a shearing force on your lower lumbar, which can cause a lot of the, SI joint problems. A lot of people experience lower back problems when it comes to squatting. My big point being with this video that if you are serious about training, serious about your gains, you have to take your mobility seriously. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're not sitting down too long at a desk for, several hours on end. I would recommend every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes to stand up, move around, not let that particular pattern set in on your body. Because what I've noticed, before, we take this several years ago with young Yola Omar being a trainer 5 years ago, first starting out, and I noticed all these patterns, right? You take someone in their 20s, then someone in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. Over the period of 5 years, I probably trained over 500 clients, and you notice these patterns. Over time, as someone continues sitting, not being active, these areas get more and more inhibited. Eventually to the point where some people will resemble looking like a Neanderthal, right? Where they're rounded over and forward like so, their back, right? Maybe excessive anterior pelvic tilt going on. My boys, Eric Cressy and Mike Robertson, back in the day, wrote a fantastic, I'm going to link it in the description, it was on T Nation, it was called Neanderthal No More. And it was all about the potential issues that can arise from sitting down too long, being inactive, and then deciding to train. Speaking once again with my buddy who is a sports therapist, actually he was just at the Sochi Olympics, helping the Canadian team out. And he was saying that a lot of individuals, go Canada! He was saying a lot of individuals that, when they first want to get into training, or maybe in particular powerlifting, where the mobility demand is high, right? You got squat low, you got deadlift, you got to get the hip hinge going on. Going from that sedentary lifestyle immediately to training is when a lot of those injuries can occur, because we're going from weak, tight, inhibited muscles to making them overactive, and you combine those two, and that's once again where all the shit goes down. So a lot of you guys listening to this video, yeah man, I've heard some of this before, but are you doing it? Because the vast majority of individuals, me being around this game for a while, you're going to get injured at some point in your life. If you're proactive about this stuff, if you take the proper precautions, if you do your mobility work, you're not going to fuck yourself up. As a side note, anecdotal evidence of myself, I will say this: when I was training 50-60 hours a week several years ago, my mobility was far greater because I was moving around a lot. I was demonstrating every single day, several hours, how to do different exercises. Like a squat, no problem. Deadlift, the hip hinge, easy to explain. Now that my business has shifted predominantly online, what has happened, because I was sitting down a lot, those same positions that were very natural, easy for me to show, because I'm in this tight inhibited position with my hip flexors and hamstrings and whatnot, they're a lot harder. I have to do more mobility work. So I understand now both sides of the equation. So I want to pass this along to you guys. What I'm going to say, just to neatly summarize it and not make this video too long, I'm going to include a link in the description as well for 2 things for you guys to do. we're going to call this the fixing being a slave to the grind. I can't fix your job, I can't fix the school, but I can fix the postural problems, give some recommendations. And what I'm going to link is going to be Joe DeFranco. He originally had that Agile 8, which was fantastic for the hips and lower back to mobilize them. He came out recently with the Limber 11, which is also great. And then Kelly Starrett, right? Shoulder, upper body mobility band routine, and bands are actually very cheap to get. Easy for the shoulder socket, you know, those, once again, talking about the most common problems, either impingements or internal shoulder rotation problem. Is this going to solve every single individual's unique problems? Absolutely not. Is it a great catch-all recommendations? If you do these every single day, you'll get greater mobility, and thus will be easier to train hard, train consistently, and not get injured? Hell yes. So guys, be proactive. Don't sit down too long, and especially in bad positions where you're just like slouching it out and you're getting that double chin going on. Maybe you're doing an all-nighter World of Warcraft going on. You're level 67, Dark Elf Warlord. I'm on to you. Be proactive about this stuff. Coming from a brother that's been there, I've actually, you know, developed tight inhibited muscles, and now I'm fixing all that stuff as well. Do your mobility work. Check out the links in the description. This has been a service reminder, friendly announcement. I thank all you guys for watching this video, my rascals, for being smart, okay? Appreciate it. If you liked the video, make sure to like the video, and I'll be seeing all you guys, rascals, in that next video. Peace!